Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're tuning in, we're going to do a super quick version of this hexagon granny square dress. So what you're going to do is you're going to make two hexagon panels, okay? And if you already know how to make a hexagon, or if you don't, you can go check out my other video. It is a six-sided granny square. If you don't know how to make a granny square, I would suggest watching the video. This is really for people who know how to make hexagons and who know how to make granny squares. Okay, so in this video, you are going to go in 1, 2, and on this third at the top of this, double crochet on both sides. You're going to slip stitch right there. You're going to leave this spot open for your neck. You're going to slip stitch all the way down, and then when you get down here, you're going to do a chain and one, and then you're going to go around the border whatever way you like. You can do just half double crochets all the way around, single crochets all the way around. You can do a half double crochet decrease, half double crochet decrease all the way around. Okay, that's your option. You're going to do that on both sides. If you feel like you need a little bit more neck room, you're going to go 1, 2, 3, and in that fourth one, you're going to slip stitch at the top of that half double crochet cluster. Okay, and that gives you four 1, 2, 3 onto the fourth one. So that gives you more room for your neck if you feel like you need it. So once you do both of those sides, you're just going to slip stitch right up the middle on one, and then you're going to flip it over, and you are going to slip stitch all the way at the top here, and then you are going to do a chain one, and you're going to go around that neck hole with whatever you like. You can go around a neck hole with more granny square, I don't know what the actual name of these are, but the 3 double crochet clusters, or you could do half double crochets, you know, etc., whatever way you want. Okay, I'm actually going to go through it, but I just wanted to lay out what we're actually going to do. And then once you get to the bottom panel, okay, you are going to, if you need, get your stitch markers, and you're going to stitch mark the end of this, in the middle here, and then you're just going to slip stitch all the way around. Once you slip stitch all the way around, you're going to add the second panel. So essentially that panel is going to come right on here. You're going to slip stitch down that panel, and then you're going to flip your pieces over, and you are going to then slip stitch across the top here and then down. And then once you get to the bottom, you're going to go around with half double crochets, or like I said, with any type of stitch that you feel comfortable. And that is literally how you stitch this dress together. If you understand that, then you're done and you don't have to watch anymore. I noted this in the other video, but I want to note it one more time in this video. My seams are very bulky, okay? If you see here, my seams are pretty chunky. You can see here, they're pretty big on both sides. And then when you flip it over, you can kind of see that stitching on the other side. I want it that way. I like that kind of rough stitching where you can see where your work is being done. I like that personally. If you want invisible seams, then there are different ways. You can look up how to do an invisible seam to connect granny squares. And I'm telling you, there's so many videos on YouTube. You can do it with a tapestry needle. You can do the back post only, and it shouldn't show through like that. But I kind of like that stitching. Like, I like that stitching style on this dress. I also said in the last video that I like doing the slip stitch with the crochet hook because I want a really strong seam. I wear my pieces, like I wear my pieces a lot. And for me personally, I tend to stretch out the seams when it's done with a tapestry, just me personally. So I like it to have a nice strong seam that has a lesser chance to unravel, in my personal opinion, okay? But I just wanted to point that out before you start seaming your work up, that this is what my seams look like. They're comfortable, they don't bother me whatsoever, but if you want a flatter seam, just look up ways to do a, I guess, neater or an invisible seam, which there are plenty. I mean, there's literally like 4 or 5 different ways to seam your pieces together, but I just wanted to point that out. A note in this tutorial, if your top pieces don't match the bottom pieces, meaning I did 12 rows for the bottom and 12 rows for the top. If these are not the same, then stick around to show you how to do a decrease, okay? Okay, so the top part of the sleeve, we're going to slip stitch in. So 1, 2, and at the top of that 3 double crochet cluster, we're just going to grab the yarn, we're going to slip stitch. If you want to do it tapestry needle style, you can do it that way as well. If you have different ways to doing the slip stitches together or stitching the pieces together, you can do it that way as well. Okay, but you're literally going to match up the front and the back panels. If you need a stitch marker, you can go ahead and stitch these two together from where you start at the neck hole to the end of the sleeve. But this is pretty easy. They all should match up unless you missed a stitch at some point. If you did miss a stitch at some point, just find another part of the panels, because you know that you can pretty much, this is one side of the sweater, but you can always readjust it, and now this is another side. Okay, so just make sure you didn't miss any stitches, and I'll meet you at the end. Before we go any further, I also want to note that I used 2 of these Super Saver Jumbo 482 yards to make this dress, which yielded 12 rows of the front and back granny square panels and 12 rows of the front and back hexagon panels. Okay, and then it gave me enough yarn left over to do the stitching. If you need more rows, you're gonna have to add 1 more panel at least. I think I could have got, I'm sorry, 1 more ball of yarn. I think I could have got 13 rows each out of it, but it would have really been stretching it to do the seams. Okay, so anyway, we have stitched in the top of the sleeve. We left the opening for the neck, and now we are at the end. We're going to chain 1, and then we're going to go into that little chain at the top there. Make sure you don't forget those chains. They're very easy to forget. There's 1 chain at the bottom and there's 1 chain on the top, and you're just going to do a half double crochet, or if you want to continue the granny stitch around, whatever way you want to decrease. I'm just going to do a half double crochet and a decrease 1 all the way around for my sleeve. So I'm going to do half double crochet, and I'm going to go in, pull up 3, go into the next one, pull up 4, and then go through all. Okay, so this is a tutorial for people who know how to do this already. Okay, so I'm doing a half double crochet and then a decrease all the way around, and then the second row is just going to be a row of actually single crochets for me, okay, personally. So once you do that on both sides, I'll meet you back in the middle. How did you slip stitch the top of the sleeve and went around with your border? You're just going to slip stitch up the panels now. So we're going to meet them together, and you're going to slip stitch whatever way you, or fasten whatever way you did. Make sure you don't forget that chain at the bottom there. Very important. And we're just going to slip stitch, meet them together, slip stitch all the way at the top, and we're going to stop there, and we'll meet you on the other side. I wanted to stop right here on the second side, so I started slip stitching up the second side. But if you wanted to leave like a little faux collar out and then just stop right here and start doing half double crochets or single crochets all the way around to give yourself a little border like this, you can leave it open. Or if you want to come down and make it a little bit farther, matter of fact, if you want to come all the way down here and leave the whole top part open and then maybe add buttons up the side, or if you're really good, if you want to leave this whole part open, maybe slip stitch down here at the bottom to make it easier to add the panels at the bottom, and then add a zipper. Like, guys, get creative. I am very flexible with my works of art. I do not make the same thing twice. None of these dresses are identical. All of these dresses are different. They all have something different about them, different stitches, different ends. So we're going to keep going up the side if you want to do it like the other dress, and we're just going to keep slip stitching to the end, and then I'll show you what we do at the top. As always, we're going to do that slip stitch. We're still stitching up the front. Don't forget that little chain there. I call it the forgotten chain because I feel like people could skip over it. And then now we're at the top part. You're going to do a chain 1 always, and then you're going to do a half double crochet in that top chain right there. And then you can do a row of half double crochet all the way around, or you can do a half double crochet decrease, whatever is comfortable for your neck. Okay, and you're just going to do that all the way around. I'm going to do a half double crochet half double crochet decrease. Okay, and you're gonna do that all the way around, and then we're gonna go to the bottom and start doing that piece next. If you're not sure whether you can or should decrease, try it on really quickly. Just try it on. If you're unsure about anything throughout this entire video, try it on. Take some safety pins. Make sure it fits before you start sewing up the seams. Just try it on. It's trial and error. Okay? So now we're at the bottom panel. So you're just going to match up that bottom panel. And right in the corner here, we are going to match up that corner stitch. And we're going to go inside. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then on this side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Boom, easy. So you're going to end up going into this corner twice, okay? So don't fret. So you're going to slip stitch in that corner there. In the other video, I actually slip stitched at the top of the double crochet here. You can do it either way. Doesn't matter really. So this is easy. You're literally just going to slip stitch all the way down, okay? You're going to match the front and the back. Now, if your bottom piece is bigger than your top piece, what you're going to do is for every other one, you're going to start with a you're going to start with a slip stitch. Then you're going to go into this piece, pull your yarn through. You're going to have 2 on there. You're going to go into the next one, and then you're going to go into your back piece here, pull through, keep pulling through, keep pulling through, pull through all of those, okay? Do it one more time. If you're doing a decrease from the bottom to the top, meaning there's more rows on the bottom than the top, okay, just showing you how to decrease. You're going to go into this one, pull your yarn through. You have 2 loops on there. You're going to go right into the next one. You're going to go right into that back piece. You're going to pull through here, keep pulling through. It's all one simultaneous pull through, okay? And then you're going to do a decrease, slip stitch, decrease, slip stitch until the pieces matches up until the middle. If you need more explanation for that, the other video has that detail with the stitch markers in the middle and on the other side, okay? If you get it, great. Now, if you need to decrease the top from the bottom, you're just going to do the same thing. You're going to go through the bottom. You're going to go through the top, pull through, then go back into that next one, pull through, and then you're going to pull through all of them, okay? Show you one more time. If your top pieces have more rows than the bottom piece and you need to make the top part smaller to match the bottom, you're going to go into the bottom part. You're going to go into the top, pull through, go right into the next one, pull through, and just go through all those pieces, okay? All right? So that's how you do your decreases. But these are 12 on either side, so you literally just do a slip stitch all the way across. If you need stitch markers in the beginning, the middle, and the end to help you do that. I want to note, when you get to the middle, if you're like me, it's going to like slightly bother you that this right here is here. So I'm actually going to go into that middle piece twice. So here's my middle stitch here. I went into this chain on one side, but there's actually going to be a chain on the opposite side. I'm actually just going to go right through that again and pull through again. And then you're going to be equal on the other side. So when you get to the middle of this top part, you might want to go in the middle of the bottom part twice in order for your pieces to match up evenly on the other side. It might leave like a teeny tiny little spot there. It's not a big problem. It's not a big, to do. But I personally like to close up any little holes that I possibly can. That part was kind of explained in the other tutorial, but maybe not so much. But I just wanted to add that in, okay? This is how I do it. If you want to not attach on the side, you can. It just is easier for me to do it that way. If you want to attach the granny square hexagon front and back and then attach the 2 side pieces together, go for it. Whatever way makes you feel comfortable. We are right in the corner here. So I just did my last slip stitch on the corner and the corner here. And now we're at the side corner, right? Because there's a corner at the top, corner on the side. We're going to grab that side corner. We're going to grab our other granny square panel, and we're going to match up the corners and start slip stitching down the side. Okay, so you're going to do that all the way down. So you did the 2 hexagons, the granny squares attached across. Then you're going to grab that other panel of the granny square and go right down the side here. And then when you are done, you're going to then go across one more time and go down the side here. We sew down the side. So now we have back at the top, we're going to go right in that little corner piece right before the top of the double crochet piece. You're going to go into the corner as well. So you're going to that corner twice essentially to make sure there's no gaps or anything, and then you start slip stitching, or if you need to do your slip stitch decrease on the top or bottom, whatever you need to do, you're just going to do that all the way across. And then guys, we're going to go down the side, and I'll meet you at the bottom at the down the side, and then we're almost done. Guys, we're getting to the end. So you're at the bottom of your work. You're going to do a chain 1, and then for the bottom, I like it to kind of go in a little bit. So I'm going to do my half double crochet and then my decrease like I did on the sleeves, half double crochet, decrease. I'm going to alternate the decrease and the half double crochet all the way around, and then I'm probably going to do a row of single crochets around. I like to kind of end a lot of my works with single crochet. It gives it kind of a smaller, neater ending to it, but you can do it whatever way you want. You can even bell it out. You can even add ruffles if you wanted to at the bottom. You know what I mean? Like, you can do whatever you want. And I kind of like the idea of adding a ruffle. Kind of like the old school, you know, I'm getting away with my thoughts. But anyway, that is it. You are done the dress. Continue to go around the border and you're done. I'm going to show you just what it looks like. There she is. Super easy. All done. Your granny square crochet hexagon cardigan dress. Please, if you have any comments or questions below, post them. And then if you made the dress, be sure to tag me on Marie Ann Marie TikTok or on Instagram at Marie Ann Marie _. Okay? All right. Happy crocheting.